Welcome back, learners, and this is the second session on emergence of digital media. Hope you gained enough from the first, and this will be an insightful session as well. So this session is going to cover digital media in India. So far we were talking about digital, online, new media and various other forms of digital media and mediatization of various tools and technologies. Now we're talking in context of our own country, we're talking in terms of digital media in the Indian context. We're also talking about digital media looking at it from a historical point of view. So the historical perspective is getting covered. By historical perspective, I mean digital media and print, digital media and television, digital media and radio, as well as the various emerging trends in digital media. Now, this is in the form of data-driven journalism, it is in the form of digital stories, mapping in journalism, as well as there are some challenges. Wherever there are opportunities and trends, there are challenges always. So those challenges are more in the form of fake news and trolling. There are many other when we talk of cybercrime, when we talk of bullying, and so many various kind of banking scams taking place in and out. But we're not covering all of them. We're basically talking of two main challenges in the use of digital media, if we minus the economy part of it, which are fake news and trolling. So let us begin. Digital media in India. Now we all know that India is going through a digital revolution. There were times when we used to carry currency in our pockets, but today we have come to the times of plastic money. Even during Corona, we've come to the time of PayTMs and others through which we should not be touching any other commodity of another person. So the amount of growth which India has seen in terms of internet penetration has been unprecedented over the years. Take for example education. Now that we're all going online, especially in school as well as college higher education, we all have seen a rise in the demand for gadgets. Why? Because children have to study their classes from their homes by means of using devices and by using various kinds of softwares. So obviously the internet penetration, the digitization has taken a step ahead. India is one of the top countries in the world in terms of internet users. And when I say internet users, I do include the phones, the smartphones which are there just because they are able to take on to WhatsApp, or they are able to access Facebook or any kind of digital content, news, shopping, so on and so forth. The government's Digital India program, now which was launched by the Department of Electronics and Information Technology, Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, Government of India. So this Digital India program has given a greater fillip to the digital media in India, because most citizens and people of all age groups are encouraged to make greater use of digital media for their own safety. The Digital India campaign is centered around three basic versions. A lot of us might be knowing about this, but I'm just recapitulating. One is digital infrastructure as a core utility for every citizen. So like plastic money is one, like having a fast tag for highways is another. So various sorts of digital infrastructures which is being used as a utility product for all citizens. And then governance and services on demand. We know from, we've come a long way from the times of the time when we had to get FIRs written in police station to the online FIRs that we have now, or the e-governance concept which way back originated in Andhra Pradesh in India and has now come a long way. And of course, the digital empowerment of citizens. So by various means, you can, you have greater access, you have greater control over your economics, over what you say, your socials, everything. So this is digital empowerment that we are able to provide to our citizens in India. All the digital initiatives to fulfill these visions will contribute significantly in strengthening the digital media in India. While it has already contributed in increasing the number of internet users, so this internet user base in India has gone up tremendously, the implementation of digital infrastructure as a core utility to every citizen will lead to increase in digital penetration, internet penetration, which is to at the moment it is low as compared to other countries. Now we've also seen tremendous growth in mobile use both for data as well as for voice. Though it took 2 decades to reach a billion connections covering over 500 million unique subscribers, India has become one of the largest mobile markets in the world. So this in itself is a significant fact which says how internet penetration or digitization is rising in lives of the Indian citizens. This trend encouraged people in the media industry to take up media mobile apps more seriously. So earlier, media mobile apps or mobile journalism wasn't something to reckon with, wasn't something to be taken very seriously. But with the rise of internet penetration, with the rise of digitization and the government's efforts at digitizing, media industry has taken a note of it and they have become more serious about the use of mobile apps related to media. A number of media houses have created their own apps so that they can connect with those 500 million subscribers, which is a huge number. This is the data any media owner would like to look for. And because of the popularity of platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook, there is a need to repurpose content for those who are consuming media messages using these platforms. So we need to repurpose, keeping in mind the goals of the organization, the social benefit, and what suits the Indian citizenry at large. Media industry researchers have shown that media content creation, the access to media content and its consumption have gone through enormous changes in the second decade of the 21st century, globally as well as in India. And shifts would be more dramatic over the next 5 years, maybe after 2020. 3 main factors which were responsible for this trend are: 1, technology and internet access, especially fast mobile data and broadband; 2, the gadgets, especially the smartphones and streaming media devices, which do not require a lot of bandwidth to stream something, even in the HD formats; and the third, the app ecosystem. What I mean by app ecosystem is an app cannot exist in isolation, just like media cannot exist in isolation. It has to have a certain kind of an ecosystem. So there have to be producers of the content for that app, there have to be consumers, there have to be other agencies which are going to collaborate with it. Say for example, if we talk about any shopping site, there are certain kind of, it could be Bheem, it could be UPI, it could be Paytm, it could be credit cards. So there are various agencies that are collaborating with this digital agency through digital modes for payment and delivery to take place. So this is what I call an app ecosystem. So this app ecosystem, the greater, the stronger it is, the lesser the chances of digital failures and more the chances of digital ecosystem acceptance. Now, the growth in digital advertising has been maximum over the last few years as compared to other media segments. So digital advertising has increased precisely because most people and most media are preferring to go digital. The reason for this massive growth is the increase in internet user base, which includes mobile internet users. Now let us look at the historical perspective of digital media. When I talk about the historical perspective, I'd be largely focusing on how digital media compares itself with print and electronic. So beginning with the print, in India, the Hindu was the first newspaper to start its own website in 1995. Most of the newspapers thereafter built their own websites to connect with the people who had access to the internet. So this was not a major chunk of their readership, but yet these were the people who had access to digital forms and they would like to be, keeping a small section of the paper digitized. And in 2007, Malayalam Manorama became the first regional paper to establish its presence in digital media by launching a mobile app. So we had a mobile app for a newspaper for the first time in the year 2007. Newspaper like the Times of India, the Hindustan Times, Hindu and Indian Express joined Twitter between 2009 and 10. In 2012, Times of India forayed into augmented reality by launching its Alive app. And this Alive app, in case you are the Times of India reader, you would often find in its pages that they would promote the Alive app to go over and scout for some kind of content. The app basically allows a user to scan any picture or graphic and then take them to the relevant multimedia content. So it's not just talking about a certain story in a certain way, it's also allowing you to access various kind of relevant multimedia content which can be connected to it. So in 2013, mobile media apps became very popular. One app that emerged as a leader was InShorts, and it continues to do well even today. InShorts is a news app whereby all sorts of news from India and across the globe, and even smaller villages and regions of the country from within the country get displayed in a few words and a picture. And the app keeps updating itself time and again, so every time you will open the app, you will find something or the other which is new to you. The app was instant success and was based on the premise that people would like to consume messages quickly. So this is simple, this is short, and it comes with a picture. Hence, the news is constructed in such a way that it delivers the entire story in a few words. To make their content easily accessible through search engines, many media outlets forayed into search engine optimization and digital marketing. Now, this is something that began at least 10 years back. So when we talk about search engine optimization, we're ensuring that we use the right keywords so that if anybody is hunting for something with these keywords, it would automatically be directed to our website for content consumption. Now, the idea is to be rated amongst the top 10 of the list. So what makes you the Google AdWords is the search engine optimizing engine, which helps you bring your content to the foray. So it is another strategizing, it is another form of marketing which we call digital marketing, through which we can ensure that our website or our content stays amongst the top of the list. Social media marketing became as important as content. Media houses trained their staff or hired digital marketing agencies just to be on top of the list of the search engine result page and to get more clicks and traffics. Lot of experiments were being done in the ways news was being told, and a number of digital tools were explored that allowed development of stories in different ways. This was the year of immersive storytelling. Now, immersive storytelling is an experience through which, like I was explaining in the previous session, that if you're trying to explore the jungles of Amazon, the idea is to give you an immersive experience, to give you a feel that you were there. And how do you feel, how do you look, how do you, look at various things in the forests of the Amazon. So this was the first time we were thinking of immersive storytelling. And also, in order to promote interactivity, we would see to it that there are multiple options that are provided to the consumer, who would click on one and lead to a certain kind of an end. Malayala Manorama Online started offering 360-degree videos. And this was the time of immersive storytelling, which aims at giving the consumers a feeling of really being there by making use of 3D gaming. So it is a three-dimensional gaming by means of 360-degree videos. Virtual and augmented reality technologies are used together to bring about this immersive storytelling experience. The delivery of news and storytelling is made more hard-hitting and entertaining by use of advanced technologies and by means of using immersive storytelling softwares. Now let us compare digital media to television and how digital media has changed television over a period of time. Now, with the increase in internet connectivity and availability of cheap smartphones, there was an explosion of online videos. Anyone who had an access to technology and internet enabled phone also had the opportunity to create and disseminate videos. One could also do something which was unheard of till a few years back. One could create one's own channel. So today you even see a lot of youngsters having their own YouTube channels. Depending on the interest, that's precisely the reason why YouTube is full of channels on do-it-yourself and politics and food and news and entertainment, travel, everything. everything. The reach of many of these channels is much more than that of traditional media. So that is what we call influencer marketing. So if somebody is, say for example, I follow a certain YouTube channel which talks on fashion, or which talks about skincare, or which talks about healthy eating, or which talks about bringing up children, anything of the sort. The kind of fan following that is there, or the number of subscribers that these YouTube channels have. Why? Because they find the content useful and entertaining both, will easily beat any traditional TV channel. The last few years, and this is why we talk of influencer marketing. So this is the person, whatever, if one has been following a certain person for over a period of certain number of years, it is more likely that that person's opinion is going to influence you in either way. So over the last 5 years, we witnessed massive growth in the number of videos created and uploaded on platforms like YouTube, and there are many other platforms as well. In addition to internet connectivity and inexpensive smartphones, this was made possible by new digital tools that allow creating and editing videos on the go. So while you create, it's like a still photograph. The way once you click it, you're able to edit it, and you are able to give it various tones and shades and colors and brightness and everything. Similar is the case with videos. The moment you shoot it, you're able to edit it on the go. Most of the social networking websites like Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter integrated these tools so that anyone could create and disseminate these videos for the 42% of the world population who is connected to internet. Some of the emerging trends we're witnessing nowadays are immersive storytelling, which I was just talking about in 360-degree videos, the video selfies, etc. Now let us look at one or two relevant examples. The Quint online news platform, robed in Barkha Dutt, who is a senior journalist we all know, during the 2017 state elections of UP. And this new media journalism was emerging. So she used selfie videos and Facebook Live extensively to cover UP elections. Also, the New York Times announced its launch on Snapchat Discover Forum in 2017. And the idea was to reach 41% of the youth of the US. By youth, I mean 18 to 34-year-olds, as they were maximum using Snapchat. In comparison, an average individual US TV network reaches only 6% of this demographic of 18 to 34 years old. So, the examples of the Quint and the New York Times show how new technology is shaping the way media messages are constructed. TV no longer has the monopoly over videos. Even online newspapers host videos on their portal. Now, let us look at radio and the way digital media influences it. Now, keeping in view the increase in internet penetration and growth of smartphone segments in India, the traditional broadcast radio channels have taken their stations online. And there are companies that run internet-based radio service. And radio had remained a strong partner of the media and marketing mix. We all understand in my previous sessions, whenever I was talking about media marketing, I explained how radio is an important component when we're designing the media mix or when we're designing the communication mix, and we're coming up with integrated marketing plan. So radio continues to stay a strong partner there. Radio broadcasters are adapting well to how digital channels are changing in the industry, turning mobile phones and the internet into a way to extend their brands and protect their listener share and reach new audiences. So radio stations these days have also created engaging websites and apps. Through these websites and apps, the audiences can listen to the podcasts, stream radio broadcasts, and experience visual, video, text, or interactive content. In fact, podcasts of late, especially during the new coronavirus times, has become very relevant and important. This is because our interaction with screens have increased. So in order to give rest to the mind and the eyes, podcasts are a very good medium. So a lot of audiobooks have become available on various issues, on various facets, and they are available as podcasts. Now let us look at the emerging trends in digital media, and we are talking first of data-driven journalism. Data journalism, which is big data and data analytics, are all now buzzwords. Data is being used by media houses to tell stories. Open data movement has made it easier for communicators and journalists to access and use this data in order to create better stories. Many countries are releasing their data as open data so that it can be used by the public for various purposes. It is similar to what we have OERs in education, open educational resources. So those are the resources which are authentic, which are inscribed by agencies which are credible in nature and they are not fake, yet they are available free of cost or without any licensing fee for educational purposes. So similarly, many countries are also releasing their data as open data so that it can be used by public for various purposes. In India, www.data.gov.in, this website is a platform which hosts data from all ministries and departments. NDSAP was notified by Government of India in March 2012 to promote a culture of data sharing and data utility for meeting large socio-economic goals, and see how important this is. Now this is how you can relate to the larger national goals of digitizing the country and asking the citizens to go digital. This will be possible when people are able to make their own decisions by making use of these data. And at least government data being available on certain credible websites makes a lot of sense. You can do your socio-economic planning significantly better these days. Adhering to the norms laid out by this policy, the National Informatics Center has set up Open Government Data, which is called OGD, Platform India, which is a state-of-the-art dynamic data sharing platform, and it espouses the principle of open government data, which I just explained, similar to OERs. The portal has many rich features to support this policy. These features are search and discovery mechanism for instant access to various data sets of great importance, and then community engagements around published data sets for innovative applications on open data with an ability to provide customized citizen services. So you're not only able to access, you're also able to demand e-services through them. Tools or apps or visualizations so developed by using this platform has played a pivotal role in increasing the level of transparency and citizens' participation in the governance process. Data journalism is about using sheer scale and range of digital information to tell compelling stories. And the focus of data journalism is not on what happened, but on what a particular development may mean. Say for example, due to the novel coronavirus, the economy of various countries globally fell. What does it have to do with the politics of the countries, or how does the politics of the United States of America affect the economy of the entire system, entire globe? That is a relevant understanding which comes through data journalism. There are a number of digital tools which are available to work on data-based stories. These are Google Fusion Table, Lucidchart, Silk, Infogram, Pictochart, Tableau, and Quarto. All these, and there are many other apps as well, which can be made use of for digital tools of database stories. Now let us look at what these digital stories are like. Now this is a new way of storytelling. This means telling stories by making use of computer-based tools. They're also known as digital documentaries or computer-based narratives. They're also called digital essays or electronic memoirs and interactive storytelling. And they all revolve around the idea of combining the art of telling stories with a variety of multimedia, which includes the graphics, which includes the radio, audio, visual, and web publishing as well. The duration of these stories is usually from 2 to 5 minutes. And some of the tools which are used to tell digital stories are Powtoon, Movely, and vVideo. All of these are very small software, so they don't take up much of space in a laptop and may be tried. Now let us look at mapping in journalism. More than what happened, where it happened is important. So like whenever you talk about news concepts, we do understand that any significant event happening in US is of greater importance of India strategically as compared to the same event taking place in Nepal. Why? So because the where portion of the story is very important. What has happened is equally important, but where it has happened has a significant impact on how we are going to look at it or whether or not we are going to do something about it. The geography, culture, politics, economics has a lot to do with any event occurring at a particular place. Say for example, the earthquake which happened in Nepal. There are geographical features that will be brought to light. Arab Spring, it was a political environment which got aggravated. Shift in power balance in the US, that will have economic implications for the people. So while few years back, the name of the place in the story was enough, or one or two shots of the location were adequate. But today, the digital savvy readers prefer to have immersive experience, feeling the place, exploring more, and then more than one shot could have offered. And then navigating from one place to the other on visiting different locations to find out more information about the same context. Now, it would be interesting and enriching to be a part of the scene and experience the fun, excitement, horror, pain accompanied with the story. So, the same story and the same amount of time that you spend with the story gives you better and more. That is why immersive storytelling and digital storytelling has become so significant, and it has taken, overturned the entire news business. With live broadcasts and geotagging, there is a lot of information being generated from various locations. The information generated from these sites can be excellent resource for the journalists. Now, because you're able to put this information together and convert it into a story, which is a challenging task, of course. Now, with mapping and 360-degree videos, one can experience moments with the broadcaster and take a look around, which is bringing the audience one step closer to where they are. The new technologies have made both generation as well as a storage of data possible. There's a lot of data based on locations, and maps are also a great tool for allowing user interaction and just the best way of telling great stories. Now let us look at the challenges. We are going to look at two basic ones, which are fake information. We all know that there are a number of inexpensive platforms that are available even free of cost. And we also have easy to use digital tools. Then there is more democratized media landscape. By democratized media landscape, I mean that you're not just passive receivers of information. You're also creating information and circulating information, sharing information, getting feedback on that information. So it has become this media landscape has become more vibrant and more democratic in nature. But a lot of inaccurate information is also on the net. When everybody will try to become a journalist and everybody will draw data, obviously what will come out of it will not be accurate. So post-truth is a term which was coined to talk about this. So there are circumstances in which objective facts are less influential in shaping public opinion, and what is more influential is the emotion or the personal appeal part of it. So the personal belief makes it more relevant, and so people end up trusting that information. This is what we call the phenomena of post-truth. There are a number of organizations that conduct fact-checking, and they see to it that such data is not put in public domain. Such initiatives also need to be supported by digital literacy campaign. Why? Because this digital literacy campaign is what we need in order to ensure that people and the way they are being overloaded with information from all sides, they should be able to make the right decision of what to believe, when to believe, and whether to believe or not. So digital literacy campaigns are very important, other than just having just some organizations springing up and getting into fact checking, because all across the amount of data which is being generated is by no way proportional to the number of organizations who can do the data check. So we on our own have to be digitally literate to be able to figure out what is true from what is false. That's about fake information. The second more prevalent, socially demeaning and a disturbing kind of a thing is online abuse and threats. These threats and these online abuses, I will call them trolling. Now, what is an internet troll? According to this researcher, Dr. Claire Hardaker, a troll is a computer user, a person, who constructs the identity of sincerely wishing to be a part of the group in question. But the real motive of this person is to cause disruption and or to trigger conflict for the purposes of one's own amusement, nothing but amusement. Now, there is a certain categorization of such people. Like Dr. Claire talks about 4 kind of categories. One she calls RIP trolls. So they are basically, the idea is to cause misery on memorial sites. Then there are fame trolls. Off and on we keep hearing of celebrities being provoked, which happens greatly due to trolling. So the idea of being a fame troll is to provoke celebrities, to say something which then becomes newsy. Care trolls, those who find an abuse in every post about children or animals. They want to be the caregivers, but actually they end up being care trolls. And then there are political trolls. They bully MPs and other politicians, and this is their basic idea. Then later on, there were also 2 more subcategories that got added to this, which are the subcultural trolls. Now, when we talk about subcultural trolls, this is the idea of such a troll is to derail the conversation with silly questions and basically hijacking the entire conversation. Professional trolls, these people are those whose careers are built on their willingness to say the unsayable in order to attract huge attention and hits. So these are the various kind of trolls that we come across in our society today. That's about it in this session. And digital literacy is the key. While digital literacy and digital media is a wonderful gift that we've all obtained, but at the same time making it constructive, keeping it constructive is in our hands, and the best way to do that is to be digitally literate. Hope you found this session useful. Thank you all very much. See you again.